The 18 months leading up to June the 30th, we had the North America Membership Initiative pilot program, and District 34A was fortunate enough to be selected as one of the 9 districts that did that. But we did a huge focus on service because, let's face it, service drives membership and membership drives service. It is just, the circle of life. So through service, we get those new members, and we're excited to present this session to you. We have some great panelists once again this hour. We have our global service team coordinators from each district. From District 34A is Lion Tim Carter, and he's from the Athens Club. He's been retired from the state for 15 years, and he's been a Lion since 2006. This is his 3rd year as the GST for 34A, and he's done a phenomenal job. Tim oversees the Lions Ramp project, the statewide project where we partnered with the State of Alabama Department of Rehabilitative Services, and he has really grown that program beyond what we ever thought it would be, and he has a great group of guys that go out and help install these ramps. And Tim is also very active in his church and his community, and Lion Tim has a true passion for serving others. Lion Tim, why do you think providing meaningful service is so important to a club?
Well, thanks, Ron. Thanks for those kind comments. And let me say before I start, you've had some great presenters on here. I am really impressed. They've just done a great job. But bringing your question down to me personally, I would not want to belong to a club or an organization who does nothing. I mean, why would anybody want to join? So if your organization or if your club is providing quality services, that's going to draw in new members. Not only will it draw in new members when they see what you're doing, such as with the ramp project, it will motivate your current members. It will help them to get out and get involved in service projects. Okay, thank you. Coming from 34B, we have Global Service Team Coordinator Randy Smith. And Randy is a member of the Auburn Lions Club. He has served as the Vice President, and Zone Chair before accepting this appointment as the Global Service Chair. Lion Randy studied law at the University of Houston and St. Louis University, and he practiced law in Missouri and Pennsylvania before moving to Alabama, and we're glad that he is an Alabamian now and working with us. Lion Randy, why do you think it's meaningful service projects are so important to your club?
Well, personally, follow up on Tim's idea, I wouldn't want to be involved with an organization that wasn't service oriented. It's good for us to get out physically, mentally, and emotionally to do unto others as we'd have them do unto us.
Good point. And all the way from District 34C, last but not least, we have our Global Service Chair, Jean Duggar. Jean has been a Lion since 2015, and she is the current president of the Geneva Lions Club. And she is retired from the aerospace industry. She is also a transplant to Alabama, as I am. She's originally from Davenport, Iowa, but she's lived in the South since 1984. And she says that volunteering is her favorite thing to do. And so what else is there but to be a Lion? Because the Lions give the premier volunteer service. Lion Jean, what's your thoughts on why is providing meaningful service important to a club? Jean has been having some technical difficulties she's been trying to work on all week. Is she unmuted, Lion Jerome? Can you tell?
Jean has herself muted, Lion Ron, and so as soon as she unmutes herself, then we should be able to hear her talk.
I apologize. Is that better?
Jean,
Yeah, there
we
you
hear you.
go.
Okay, I apologize. Anyway, good morning, everybody. To me, the need is so great, and especially during these times, and it keeps you active and it makes you feel good, and it does more for you than it does for the people. As much as you do for the people, it still does a lot more for me anyway, personally. I really enjoy it.
Okay, very good. Now, these are unusual times, as we've mentioned, and we have some clubs that have just kind of come to a screeching halt on providing service, saying that, oh, there's nothing we can do with the lockdown and this and that and everything else. And we have other clubs kind of teetering on, you know, trying to figure out a way they can do. And then we have a lot of clubs that have not missed a beat. They are still providing excellent service to their communities through the COVID. And so what we would like for you to do, if you are in a club that has continued to provide meaningful service during the COVID pandemic, we would like for you to type a brief description into the chat box. And at the end of this session, we'll take some time and we'll talk with you about how you have been able to alter things and adapt things and be able to continue your service to your community. So just type a brief discussion into the chat box, and Lion Jerome will keep track of those so we can bring them up at the end of the session. So as you know, we have some global areas of service. Of course, the number one service that we promote is providing service to your own community. But then a lot of people are able to do above and beyond that. So Lion Tim is just going to refresh our memory on the 5 areas of global service.
Sure. Lions International asked all the clubs at some point to become involved in developing service projects that deal with the 5 global causes, that is diabetes, childhood cancer, the environment, hunger, and vision.
And all of us are, you know, whether we know it or not, we are contributing to the overall global impact of Lions as we provide service in any one of these areas. Now you say, you know, that's a lot to think about and a lot to try to plan. Well, Lions Clubs International has really stepped up their game during the pilot program for the North America membership initiative, and they have created so many wonderful publications and learning tools that are available to all of us now, and they have put them all in the service toolkit, and you can gain access to each and every one of those, and we're going to touch briefly on each one of the things in that toolbox this morning during this hour. But you can gain access to them by going to lionsclubs.org and going to the search feature and just type in the service toolkit, and it will bring you to this long list of excellent publications and tools that we have available to us that will assist our club in anything that we're wanting to do in the line of service. So Lion Randy is going to talk to us a little bit about the first couple of things that are in that toolbox. Lion Randy?
All right, thanks, Ron. Yeah, we're going to start off by looking at the Club Quality Initiative. And we've talked quite a bit this morning about bringing other folks into the club, starting new clubs. But the first thing we really need to do is to think about the quality that the clubs in existence offer. And this Club Quality Initiative does just that. It's a fairly involved process that can be approached either with a half-day workshop or spread out over several club meetings. It's basically a 5-step process, and the first part being to just address the fact that there is a need for change. LCI has helped us formulate ideas about change with LCI Forward. So they've enumerated 4 aspects of how change is important for not only us personally, but our clubs as well. And those 4 steps involve looking at enhancing the service impact we make and the focus of our service projects. Number 2, reshaping public opinion about Lions and Lion clubs, improving the visibility of what we do in the community. Number 3, pursuing club, district, and organizational excellence. There's what the outside folks want to see, is that what we're doing is an excellent effort for the community. And number 4, improving the membership value and reaching new markets, that the work we do is valuable work. And so to look at those 4 issues of change, LCI has come up with 4 assessment tools. And these are supposed to be used club-wide. We want everybody's input thinking about how can we enhance our service impact. First, we have to talk about what kinds of service projects are important to the club members and ask them what are some potential projects that should be considered that maybe aren't being worked on at the present. So get the whole club's input on our service for the time being. Then reshaping the public opinion and improving visibility. We want to think about things there such as do they provide value for the community? Are they featured in local social and media outlets? Do we, are community leaders supportive of our activities? Things of that nature. Then the third assessment looks at improving the member value. Third step is to pursue club organizational excellence. And we can do that by keeping members informed of club decisions, making sure meetings are enjoyable, productive, and that people are satisfied with how the club is organized and managed. They have some say, and especially with younger members, we want to get their input and their activity as soon as possible. And then finally, improving the market value and reaching new markets, trying to make sure that what we're doing is relevant for not only our own club members, but the people we're trying to serve, and then making sure our club is very welcoming to our members and new members as well. So once we've gone through that assessment, then we're going to set some SMART goals. SMART, of course, being an acronym for specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound. Once we have some goals, we want to develop plans to bring those goals to life, and then an action plan worksheet, of course, to work the plan that we've made and make sure the plan actually works, fine-tuning it along the way if we need to. So that's the club quality initiative, making sure that our club does a good job of the service we're involved with, and that the club members are satisfied and feel like what we're working on is worthwhile. But then we also need to reach out into the community, and that's the second tool we're going to look at, the club and community needs assessment. Club and community needs assessment. Here again, using this tool, we're first going to talk to members within our own club, and this is more of a committee activity, not the whole club, but having a committee assess whether the needs of the club are being met. Or do we have enough service projects? Do we have enough people involved in the service projects? Do we have enough financial support for service projects? Well, we're looking at our strengths and weaknesses as far as service goes for our club. And then reaching outside of the club to other community leaders. We spoke earlier about when we start a new club, contacting people such as the mayor, community leaders, the school board presidents, people of this nature, finding out what they think are some of the needs for the community, and how Lions may be able to help address those needs. And there's a questionnaire and a cover letter that is provided in the club and community needs assessment to help us reach those individuals, find out their ideas, and then use those ideas to further develop our own club's community service type projects. And as we do that, we're going to find that some of these community leaders, some community organizations that we come in contact could be very helpful community local partnerships that we can actually develop a Lions Club partnership with another organization. And that's our third tool we're going to look at this morning, developing local partnerships. It asks us first to think about what it is that we want in a partnership. What does our club feel that it can offer to another organization? What is that we feel we need from another organization? How can we be a good partner and look for good partners in the community? What kinds of projects is it that we could work on together? And once we've identified a potential partner, then it gives us a process to go through in addressing some of the questions of, we know what our strengths are. What are the strengths of this other organization? How can we work together to accomplish community needs? Are we ready to discuss common goals and objectives? And then, of course, once we make that decision, we are ready to pursue a partnership. How can we approach that partner, helping us come up with a framework for developing an ongoing partnership and addressing the specific needs that we see that both the organizations can address through accessing existing services and maybe even changing some local priorities through our partnership. So those are the three tools that LCI has offered us in the toolkit to not only help our club with more new and exciting ideas, but also seeing if some of our work can be partnered with other community organizations. Thanks, Ron.
Thank you, Lon and Randy. And many of our viewers will remember the old Club Excellence Program and the How Are Your Ratings survey that club members would do. This Club New Quality Club Initiative replaces both of those, and it takes a little bit of a different approach. It has been very successful for the clubs that have used it. It makes you take a look inside, like we did talk earlier about. Sometimes we need to do a little housekeeping, and that helps us to do that. And the club and community needs assessment is also new, and it replaces the old one. So part of it is you take a look at what do we do well, because every club has something along the line of service that they really do well, and so they take a look at that and they think, what need is there in the community that we can highlight our high points and serve the community? And so it helps us hone in on how we can best serve our community. It's a great, great tool. Now, of course, if you're going to do service, usually it costs some money. So we have the necessary evil of fundraising. But they've all LCI has also brought us a new tool that is the fundraising guide that Lion Jean is going to talk to us about.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Lions. As you may all know, fundraising is so important and a necessary evil to support our causes. We have event fundraisers that offer a variety of ways to raise funds, from ticket sales to donations from sponsors or challenge formats. They offer great opportunities to think creatively and directly connect with club supporters, but they also require more planning and investment. The online fundraisers can range from crowdfunding campaigns to online charity auctions. These fundraisers are low cost, fast to organize, and require less volunteer input than events. The first thing you're going to need to do is form a committee and set up a fundraising goal. Fundraising goals motivate your club and let supporters know what you're trying to promote. You may want to raise funds for a specific service, funds to donate to the LCIF, or maybe to surpass the funds from your last fundraiser. Maybe you want to raise funds to donate throughout the year to your food bank, to a foster children's program, Stuff the Bus, or scholarships. You could also partner with another organization in your community like the Rotary Club, Kiwanis, or the Knights of Columbus, or another Lions Club to make it a service project as well as a fundraiser. You need to determine a deadline for your fundraiser and take the time to plan it, because having an online fundraiser could probably go on forever if you didn't set up a deadline. Sometimes, depending on what your fundraising would have to be and the financial needs required, it might be a time sensitive or something that's aligned with holidays like Christmas time or Thanksgiving for the food bank. Well, before these times, and times like that. Excuse me. Well, an online fundraiser can theoretically go on indefinitely, set an end time to incentivize timely giving. You need to choose your online fundraiser platform, such as Facebook, GoFundMe, or other online crowding platforms. While there are many platforms available, it's necessary to choose one platform for a campaign, so make things easier and provides many advantages, such as supporters receiving a unified message, reducing administrative time, and creating an online community for supporters. Excuse me. Make sure you use multimedia and add this to your fundraising page or on Facebook. Tell your club's story about successes and service projects, including the dollars raised and donated. Messages like your contributions, messages similar to like our contributions enabled our Lions Club to send 4 kids to Camp Seal Harris diabetic camp. Share your stories. You can also offer rewards to your supporters as you reach certain milestones or if they donate a certain amount of money. Things like a free t-shirt for every $30 donated, or all Geneva Lions will blow out your driveway or carport for each $200 donated. Like that's going to happen. And attend another organization's fundraiser in your community. That way you can get some ideas and best practices, ideas about how they've done it and what you really liked about what they did or you didn't like, or in other words, just to get more and better ideas all the time is always a good thing. And you can talk to the event organizers, get firsthand advice. This will also help you determine the things that you may want to include in your fundraiser or you don't want to include, things that you don't think are going to fit with your club. You need to determine where you're going to have your fundraiser. We typically will have a fundraiser standing in front of Walmart and solicit people that way. And you get to see everybody in town, so it's a big social event as well. Have the fundraiser maybe at a local park or work with a restaurant and share the ticket sales. There will be a cost for the components you need for your fundraiser, such as tickets, meals for volunteers, Lions, entertainment, raffle tickets, prizes, foods, condiments, plates, silverware. If you're having one of the Lions' famous pancake suppers, our pancake supper in Geneva is a social event of the year, so everybody comes to it and everybody enjoys it and everybody looks forward to it every year. This way, if you have your fundraiser with a service project, you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You can also minimize your costs by partnering with businesses and getting in-kind donations, such as decorations, reduced prices for equipment, or ask the community for prizes to go along with your fundraiser. Promote, share all your information on Facebook, put up in-ground signs, which is what we do. Ask supporters to share on their Facebook pages and distribute posters and signs. We put them up on all the businesses all around town. Have all Lions Club members put the information on their Facebook page and email it to friends and family. Be sure and share where the funds were raised, how much you raised, and what they were used for. That way everyone in the community kind of knows, because I've run into people many times that have said, gee, I saw you guys here raising funds for something, but what did you do with it and what happened? You can use this information as a tool to send more kids to camp, to buy more backpacks or serve seniors, whatever your heart's desire. In these times, you may need to do a virtual fundraiser. And there's a virtual club webpage. The Lions Club actually literally has a webpage for virtual fundraisers and how to do them. The Enterprise Lions Club is going to have a virtual voodoo race this year. That should be fun. All of this information that I've discussed is on the LCI page under resources and funding. You can also check out all the fundraising projects on the service reporting page. Last but not least, thank your supporters. That's a big one. Write notes, letters, post it online, but do not forget to say thank you, especially when you see your supporters around town. Thank you, Lion Chair Ron.
Thank you, Lion Jean. You know, it's exciting when everyone in the community looks forward to your fundraiser, that they come to the annual event and it just gets bigger and bigger. It becomes one of the social events of the year, and that's always great. We have a lot of clubs that are getting smaller and they're not able to do the projects they used to do, and so they're just fundraising. But we want to caution and we want to make sure that every time somebody sees a lion, we don't have our hand out wanting money, and then they don't hear about the service we do. So it's really important that you share with the community what you were able to accomplish and what service you were able to provide because of their support. Now, I would like to give a reminder here now, if your club was able to continue service during this pandemic period, if you would type a brief description into the chat box, and we'll get back to, and we want to discuss some of those before we wrap up this session. So if you can go ahead and do that as we continue on for the next 3 slides or so, and then we'll be ready to start sharing some of those stories. But right now, Lion Tim is going to share with us another great feature of the service toolbox, and that is on service project planners. Oh, wait a minute here. I did it again. Lion Jean, would you share with us why service reporting matters?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
It's really important that it matters if the moderator keeps things going the right way.
Why change it now? Service reporting is so important. It benefits all the Lions as you are transferring your knowledge and best practices to future Lions. This also allows club officers to review the past activities, learn from the successes, easy for you to say, to plan for the future. Service reporting is a matter of pride and is a sign of a healthy club and allows the club to become eligible for service awards as well. Service reporting shines a light on Lions Club International as a global service organization, so it benefits LCI also. It also provides tangible evidence of the global impact of LCI to prospective partners. People want to participate in visible change, and service reporting allows the clubs to continually engage communities, tell stories more effectively, and grow the club member base. Members want to be involved in a club that's doing service projects. By reporting your service activities, it helps everyone understand, the needs of the community around the world and how Lions and Leos are serving those needs. Because service activities are scalable, one small project can become the next global initiative of the organization. But if service projects are not reported, then LCI wouldn't be aware of them. And I think the example they give is the measles project, which we talked about, Ron, where was it the Gates Foundation teamed up with LCI to help a measles project in the world? Measurement leads to insight. Setting higher goals each year mobilizes the organization towards growth. Service reports show how Lions and Leos around the world are using their funds and the LCI grants to serve the communities. This visibility encourages Lions and Leos to think creatively about their own projects and apply for LCL grants themselves. Reporting allows LCI to use the volunteer hours and dollars to partner with other organizations, like I said, like the Gates Foundation, to get matching grants to increase the LCI efforts all over the world. Remember, reporting is a final step in completing a service project. Reporting is a lot like voting. You may think your project does not make a difference, but the only way you'll be successful is everyone does their part. Reporting is considered a service by LCI. The time clubs and districts been reporting their service are considered volunteer hours, so they benefit us all. Service can be reported in my LCI, and it's so easy to do. You can also report past activities as any time in this new system. Remember, if it is not reported, it is not done. And I want to tell you, on the service reporting, this new system that they set up is actually fabulous. You can go back and look at everybody's service projects, look at what everybody's done, and get fabulous ideas on service projects and how they've calculated the hours and the money and everything else. The information there is just wonderful. You know, I suggest everybody needs to check it out because it's really, really good. Thank you, Ron.
Very good. And Jean mentioned the partnerships, the global partnerships we've been able to do, like with the Carter Foundation and Gates and with Johnson & Johnson and several others. So it's really important. Now we want to be sure and save plenty of time to get some of our success stories through COVID, but Ryan Tim is going to real briefly talk to us about a new planner, service project planners, and it's in that toolbox to help us as well. Ryan Tim.
Thank you, Ron. It's amazing how well this third hour dovetails in with the first 2 hours. You know, we talked about toolboxes for starting new clubs. We talked about the wonderful toolboxes for growing our membership. Well, there's a toolbox with the LCI Global Service Toolbox called Project Planners, and they are just as effective as those toolboxes for starting clubs and for growing memberships. There are actually 15 planners, 3 planners for each of the global causes, 15 planners total. The planners are categorized according to the level of difficulty of the service, that is a beginner service, an intermediate service, or an advanced service. For example, a beginning service may be to donate diabetes books to the library. Intermediate may be to organize diabetic screening for the community. And advanced may be to organize a support group for diabetes. Upon first glance, these planners may appear to be intimidating, but really they're nothing more than simple but very detailed spreadsheets that forces us to focus on each step from beginning to end and on each possible detail. It forces good organization. Think just for a minute about the last project that you worked on, that you participated in, that was led, unfortunately, by somebody who was totally disorganized. And I'll bet you've said to yourself at some point, never again. Well, we don't want to be a part of a completely disorganized project. So these planners really help you become organized. So
Lion Tim, it's also really good for a club that is thinking about doing they want to do a project in a certain area, but they've never done it, and they're kind of just not knowing which way to turn. These project planners are excellent for that. Let's go ahead and move on to the next tool in the box. I want to be sure and allow some time for our success stories.
Okay, you're talking about the service ideas?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. There were some wonderful service ideas. As Janine said earlier, you can find some great information if you go to the My Line past activities reports. You can see what clubs all over the world are doing. It's a wonderful site. But there are service ideas also located on the NAMI Resource Toolbox. And for each of the 5 global causes, there are 20 great low-cost, high-impact service ideas. Just an example of the ideas, and most of us have participated in this for vision, the vision screening, or donating white canes to the blind, A couple of ideas under the hunger services, and keep in mind, at this site that I'm talking about, there are 20 service ideas for each of the global causes. Under hunger, we can deliver meals to the disabled, volunteer for a soup kitchen. Under cancer, we can donate gas food gift cards to families traveling to and from treatments. Environmental services, we can plant a tree or involve a school class in tree planting. We've already talked about diabetes, but we can sponsor an indigent child to attend the diabetics camp. There are just hundreds of ideas, simple, low cost, high impact listed in this.
Just by Lions going on there and reviewing those that are listed. Of course, it's not an all-inclusive list, but it may spark an idea with them on something their club could do. And another wonderful new addition to the service toolbox is the service launch pad. And I just love this little tool. You answer 4 questions. Are you a member? What cause, which of the global causes you're interested in serving? How long would you like? A half-a-day project, an all-day project, a continuing project, and what age you are interested in serving, youth, adult, both. And then what it does is it goes to all of those programs that are out there, and it shuffles them up, and it only brings up the ones that fit your criteria that you have just entered. And that way you don't have to look and look and look at everything on the website to get what you're looking for. So it's a really neat time-saving thing that we can use. And so now it's story time. We want to hear your stories. So Lion Jerome, I know it's hard because we have so many posted here in the chat box, but will you select a couple or whatever we have time for? And let's hear from those Lions that have been able to continue their service.
Lion Ron, what I've tried to do is break them down as they've come in and make notes, districts A, B, and C. Let's start with the Huntsville Von Braun, Lindell Smith, if he'll unmute himself, and let's ask each club to just mention one service project in order for them to share, so we can get as many as possible in. Lion Lindell, are you still on the line, and can you share with us one project from the Huntsville Von Braun Club?
Yes, I'm still here. We every other month on the 3rd Tuesday, we provide a meal for the first stop at Huntsville, which feeds the homeless and those who otherwise wouldn't have groceries. And we feed between 50 and 70 people on that day. And we've had to change it up slightly because of COVID, but now we're just taking box lunches and letting them distribute them. Before that, we were going down and actually serving the meals to them. But we're still continuing that process.
Thank you so very much for that great project. And you know, as clubs begin to move about, some are still in that phase where it's still scary to serve, but others are finding safe ways to serve. And we appreciate you finding a safe way to serve there, Lion Lindell. Let's move now to Prattville, and I believe George Head had typed in a couple of different things they were doing. Lion George, would you be so kind as to share with us one of the ways that the Prattville Club has made a difference in its community?
Certainly. Early on during the COVID situation, after the stay-at-home orders were issued and restaurants and such were forced to shut down, first responders were still, not shut down. They were active 24/7. So we had a local restaurant that opened up for takeout service only, and we found out and got word that they had provided some lunches through other organizations for various people involved with COVID. So we approached, made a financial donation to them. They in turn put some money with it, and we were able, for the total expense there to provide meals, a lunch for the first responders from the police department, the sheriff's office, and as well as the fire department in the community here. A project that not only helped those first responders, but also helped that restaurant to give them the ability to keep employees working during the shutdown.
Awesome. That is a great project there. And let's go to Foley, Alabama, where Lion Sam had mentioned a few projects, but Lion Sam, if you'll narrow that list down to just one to share at this time.
This is Lion JR. I'm the president of the club. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Thank you, Lion JR.
Yeah, you bet. Lion Sam had to go, but I appreciate that she put that in. Our main project through the year is the La Tour de Foley, our charity bike ride. You can see information on it on baldwinbikefest.com. And that fundraising project we work on throughout the year. Now, we're not going to have an actual physical bike ride this year. We have been waiting and trying to, we've been trying to wait out the pandemic, if you will, to, for some major improvement. And it just seems like it keeps rolling. So what we've decided to do is a virtual ride this year. And we're going to be able to, accept donations, and people will, help support our Lions Club, and by extension, then of course, to support the community and the communities that surround us in all of the projects that we do.
Lion JR, that is great. And then our friends at Troy, which is a fairly new club, has an event that also, I believe, is going to be moved online. It may be good that once the two of you clubs have figured it out, that we host a statewide webinar like this and share with other clubs creative ways to move what we're doing to a virtual or an online format. Lion JJ from Florenton, you had another service project. Lion JR, thank you so very much. Lion JJ, I think we got way too much feedback right now. Hang on. Let's see if we can do it without the feedback. Tell us what's going on in Florenton real quick. Just one project, please.
Yes, sir. We participated with the food distribution at our town. We donated $1,000 to the town to purchase food for needy families in our area.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we did is we went in and assisted in the food distribution. There was 3 different days that we did that, and we probably serviced over probably 500 families per Saturday. And we gained a member as the Lions came out and participated with that food distribution. We had somebody that was helping also join our club.
Well, that is very good. Thank you very much, Lion JJ. And as we continue down the list, Lion Kelly from Bay Minette, would you share one of your service projects with us?
Hi. Yeah, in Bay Minette, we just had a new elementary school built, and we planted 4 trees in the teachers' resting area close to the windows, so that way we supported the environmental part, and it gives teachers something to watch and grow. So we were very excited about that.
Well, that is wonderful. And I appreciate all that y'all are doing there in Bay Minette. That is a club that has been a valuable asset to this community for a number of years. Lion Teresa is at the Greater Dothan Area Lions Club. Lion Teresa, if you're still on the line with us, would you be so kind as to share just one of your service projects?
Well, we are concerned about children, and there's an agency here in the area called Fostering Hope, and that agency supports foster families that take in these foster children. And so as there is a need for some specific item, Fostering Hope has a store where families that are foster families can come and pick up items they need immediately. So we are purchasing and donating items to Fostering Hope so that these items will be available for foster families.
That is awesome. So thank you so very much for sharing that, Lion Teresa. We're going to also now move to Jeff at Pike Road. Jeff, you had mentioned a service project as well in the chat box.
Right. We've really tried to focus on the 5 pillars and primarily the hunger pillar by continuing to volunteer and donate at our local food bank, which is at Woodland United Methodist Church. Also, we're trying to really, as I say, focus on that by, for instance, this coming week, we're going to have our speaker is the head of the Montgomery area food bank. So we're really trying to focus on, what we consider to be a primary need, of course, food.
Very good. Thank you so very much. Lion Ron, we've got several others that have been typed in, but we're almost out of time here. The last one that I would like to go to, with your permission, is to Troy, who's also doing an online fundraiser. And will our Lion friend from Troy speak to that for just a minute or so?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I'm Lion Diane, and we are working on setting up a virtual fun run. We were going to actually do a run, but because of COVID, we decided to move it virtually. And we're going to have basically the same as the bike, the charge to sign up, and you get a free T-shirt, and it's kind of on the honor system. When you complete it, you send us documentation you completed it, you get your medal, you get your T-shirt. That's how we're setting it up.
That is awesome. Thank you very much. And we're going to ask you to share details of that at a later date, if you don't mind, with more details, how to plan it, how to organize, and how to implement it. But for today, that sure was our appetite for wanting to know more about it. Lion Ron, I'm going to toss it back to you.
I wish we had time to hear every one of the stories, because lions have always been creative creatures, and we find a way to overcome. We had a big push during the centennial we were challenged to serve 100 million people worldwide in 1 year. And everybody gasped at first, and they thought, there's no way that we can do that. Well, we far exceeded that challenge in 14 months. And with the LCI Forward, we were given the challenge of serving 200 million people around the globe in a year. And I am proud to report to everyone today that last year we provided service to over 270 million folks. Lions have always succeeded a challenge that's been given to them. We are succeeding in the fight against COVID, and we are reaching out and still meeting the needs of our communities. The slogan that we coined during the centennial, where there's a need, there's a lion, has never been truer. It has never fit our mission better than it does right now. And someone mentioned about getting a new member doing a service project. That is so wonderful, because we can tell our story over and over and over to our friends, and they think, yeah, Ron's just talking about lions again. But you take them with you to a service project, and they start hearing the stories from the people that you're serving, and they witness it firsthand. That's the way to get a new lion. So I commend you for taking those people with you to provide the service and grow our membership. Once again, I say membership drives service, service drives the membership. I want to thank all of you so much for tuning in today. It has been a great pleasure for me to moderate these sessions. I would like to thank our presenters, Lion Gene, Lion Tom, Lion Tim, and Lion Randy for your participation and sharing your knowledge with the group today.